What's up, y'all? Corey here, and on this episode, I'm going to be covering the 3 underrated marketing strategies that I've learned for my last week that I've spent here in Italy, and I'm going to teach them to you because I know they work, because they worked on me, and guess what? They are completely free, and so let's get into it. So the first one is the power of reviews. So we went and visited the Basilica St. Peter's building, which I recommend everybody checks out. It is an incredible building. And fun side note on this story is that they actually wouldn't initially let me into the building because I was wearing a tank top and shorts that were above the knee. And so right when I got there, they actually handed me this, basically this cloth that I had to wear over my shoulders. And they told me to pull my shorts down a little bit to cover up my knees. And so lesson learned if you're visiting any sort of basilica in Italy is to make sure to cover your shoulders and knees because it's just more respectful. So lesson learned. But after we visited the basilica, we decided to go find pizza. Of course, we're in Italy. And I looked on Google like anyone would, or looked on reviews, whether it's Yelp or any of your TripAdvisor websites. And the one that I found had, I think it was 4.7 stars, and it had over 3,000 reviews. And so when I saw that, obviously the psychology that goes in my brain is, oh, this is obviously a vetted business. A lot of people have gone there. It's not perfect 5-star reviews, so you know that it's not bogus, but it's not less than 4 stars, so you know that it's at least decent. And it became a no-brainer in that moment to go and eat pizza at this place. If you're wondering what it's called Pizza Ziza. It's just outside of St. Peter's Basilica in Italy. And I'll tell you this. It has literally ruined pizza for me for the rest of my life because it was so good. And so the reviews held up to exactly as expected. It was incredible service. The guy was super friendly. We got there and he's like, don't worry about which pizzas you want. Just sit down. He brought out 6 different flavors. So 2 pieces of 6 different flavors. It was basically a variety platter of pizzas. Brought it out. All the pizzas were truly incredible. And as somebody who loves meat as much as I do, I was shocked actually that some of my favorite pieces were the zucchini pieces. And another little insider knowledge is actually buffalo mozzarella, not cow or beef mozzarella, but buffalo mozzarella is incredible in this country. And so let's just say the moral of the story is that reviews are far more important and far more powerful than you realize, and they're completely free. And so if you're not leveraging the power of getting reviews and testimonials from your current client and customers, you're probably missing out on a huge marketing opportunity. And the best place to get them, honestly, is your Google business profile. And anyone can set up a Google business profile for completely free, and you can basically just send people a link that directs them to your Google business profile, and then they can put a review on there. And you could put those on your website. You could refer people to other people that are curious about your services, and you could just use them for future testimonials down the road. But if you're not leveraging the power of reviews, I highly, highly, highly recommend you tap into that one. The second one I want to talk about is the power of photos or visuals just in general. And I don't make many guarantees in life, but I can guarantee you this. We all make snap judgments based on appearance and visuals, whether you like it or not. It's just human nature. I think we would all like to believe that we aren't judgmental people, but we are. It's just human nature. We have to make decisions somehow, and appearance happens to be one of those. And so it's another one of those things of don't underestimate the power of photos and visuals. And another perfect example of this is exactly like I was kind of saying earlier is the St. Peter's Basilica. He made a snap judgment based on my appearance of wearing a tank top and shorts that I was being disrespectful to the church and their beliefs. And I wasn't really at all. I was honestly not even thinking twice about it. It didn't even cross my mind that that was something that I should have done, that I should have covered up. And that was my mistake for just not knowing cultural norms as to what is expected, especially in that culture. And it was a snap judgment that they made. Nothing wrong against them, but it taught me that important lesson of that we all make snap judgments based on what we see. And so this holds equally true for your business as well, whether it's your social media account, whether it's your website. There's a number of places where you are showing up visually in the world through photos and videos that should probably be taken into consideration. And as much as I'd like to say, like, don't worry about it, you don't want to work with those people anyways, let's be realistic. People are going to make an opinion whether you are professional, not professional, or good or not good based on your visuals. If you have really high quality photos and videos and audio and a really, really well-designed website, then people are going to assume that just because of that you are also a high quality service, you're a high quality product, and that you do really, really good work just based on those visuals. I'm not sure if you can hear the bell in the background right now, but speaking of basilicas, there is a church at the top of the mountain that I'm staying on over here next to this hotel, and they are currently ringing the bell. I'm not actually sure why, because it is 5:41 p.m. on a Thursday. So I'm not sure what they're celebrating, but I apologize for the bells in the background. But the second thing I just wanted to talk about was the importance of visuals and taking those seriously on all your platforms, especially on your digital platforms. So the third marketing tip that I want to recommend that I learned here in Italy is the power of tagging and learning to play tag and to recognize that social media is a conversation, or it's a party more than it is just a one-way street. I think it's very easy to post and ghost, as I often say to people, but in reality, it's a conversation, it's a dialogue, it's asynchronous communication through the internet, essentially. And so one of the things that I learned was I was out on a run here on the Amalfi Coast in one of the mountains, and I took a video as I was running, and then afterwards I posted the video and I tagged the Amalfi Coast, like the location, and all of a sudden I noticed all these views on my social media platform, specifically Instagram, and I noticed that most of them were coming from other people that were just looking at the Amalfi Coast. And it triggered in my brain, it was like, oh, like, that was free marketing, essentially, right? I'm sure they saw the post. Some of them may have clicked the profile, and maybe they ended up on my website. Who knows? But I think the more important, deeper lesson in that is that whether you visit a restaurant like I did for Pizza Ziza and I ended up tagging them, saying like this was the best pizza that I've ever eaten, they actually responded to that post that I put on social media saying like, thank you so much. And because they said thank you so much and responded to me, I actually ended up giving them a 5-star review just because of that dialogue. Same thing for anything that you're doing through your day-to-day life. If you're going to a restaurant you really enjoyed, or you go to a gym that has just like a really cool setup, or even just a location when you're traveling, when you tag those different places around your experiences in life, it creates this two-way street where you're essentially getting free marketing from all these other companies or locations that you wouldn't otherwise be basically marketing to. And so it's just another one of those great opportunities that I think a lot of people miss out on, is that they post and ghost. They just post something and then hope it just spreads out to their audience. But in reality, it's not so simple, and the algorithm doesn't actually necessarily reward a lot of that stuff. It's the engagement, it's the back and forth that really gives you a lot more leverage on your social media platform. And so really that's the third tip. It's completely free, is basically leverage the aspect of playing tag on your social media platforms. Tag other people, tag other businesses, tag other locations. It just creates a more dynamic conversation on your social media platforms. And so just as a final recap, the first one is don't underestimate the power of reviews. Definitely ask your clients for testimonials and reviews. Those are super, super powerful. They build trust with people that have never heard anything about you. The second one is take your visuals seriously, whether it's your photos, your video, your audio, your website, just anywhere where somebody can see your business and what you're doing. Take that seriously. Just as a side note on that as well, I went to a gym here when I was in Italy, and I'll be honest, I chose the gym based on the photos that were on their Google business profile. I did. And so like, it's the same thing for your business as well. If people see your photos on your website or your page or your social media and it doesn't jive with them, it's unlikely that they're going to work with you. So take that seriously. And the third one is play tag on your social media and your content platforms. It's just a fun way to have more of that dialogue and back and forth. And I think people underestimate how valuable it is. Hope these 3 lessons were super useful for you. This is actually my second to last day here in Italy. I will be flying back home on a long extended trip coming Saturday, where they actually send me to Paris and then to Miami and then back to Austin, which I'll be arriving probably at midnight on Sunday or Saturday. I don't actually know what day it is because the time zone change. It's been an amazing trip, but I am excited to get back in the States, and I hope this was helpful. Love you guys. Peace. Hey friend, thanks for listening to the show, and if you have any feedback for me about the show or any other guests that you'd want to see in the show, definitely shoot me a message. I love engaging with my audience and figuring out how I can provide the best value possible to the people listening to this show. Before you go, I only have one ask of you, and that would be to check out my 3 Tips Tuesday newsletter. It's 3 marketing tips every Tuesday specifically for the health and fitness entrepreneur to help them attract new leads. If you press the link in the description, it'll take you directly to the archive of all my previous newsletters, and you can decide for yourself if it's something for you. If you end up finding it helpful, you can just sign up for the newsletter and you'll get it in your inbox every Tuesday. Thanks again, and keep hustling, my friends.